As I said, good evening. Welcome to this Thursday night edition of Feedback. Coming up tonight, we're going to be talking to Charles Leach from the Clarion University Foundation. Maybe you saw yesterday that the foundation purchased Magnolia Estates, actually right down the street from where we are this evening, on Greenville Avenue, and that's going to be used for some student housing in the years to come. We're going to be talking to him about that project. Then also coming up a little bit later, the Rejection line. What is it? Well, we're going to talk about that. I spoke to one of the creators of this Rejection line in New York City. That is coming up for you a little bit later in the program. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be speaking with Charles Leach from the Clarion University Foundation. Stay with us. Feedback continues after the break.
This portion of the programming was brought to you by the Clarion Bowl Arena, located on Route 322, 1 mile east of Clarion. Bowl Arena offers rock and bowl every Friday and Saturday night, and a game room with 8 pool tables and arcade games. Bowl Arena also offers bumper bowling for kids' birthdays and league play for adults. Call 764-3471. Again, that's 764-3471.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant 226-8400.
Do you want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TV5 News Live.
Then tune in to Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 News crews join with crews from the world's news leader, CNN, to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 News can bring you the latest news as it happens. So tune in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
And we are back on this Valentine's edition of Feedback. Joining me tonight is Charles Leach from the Clarion University Foundation. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So, we're getting some new property here for the university. Tell us about this.
Well, the Clarion University Foundation was approached about a year ago by Dr. Reinhardt, indicating that we have a serious situation relative to student housing, and that our 10-year projection indicates a need for in excess of 900 new beds. And that doesn't even take into consideration the fact that some of them are going to have to be taken offline. And as a result of that, the foundation took on her challenge to see if we could help out with student housing. We were able to identify first a property, because obviously there's no room on campus to put up any additional housing. Campus, in fact, is landlocked. And we were able to identify the property, which is currently known as Magnolia Estates, and that it was available for sale, and it would be ideal because of its proximity to campus. It's only 3/10 of a mile from the Magnolia Estates to the campus line.
Right.
And we've identified a project initially to come up with some 320 new beds for the student housing, and it's going to be what we refer to as upscale housing.
Well, I don't know if they can see this picture, but as you can see perspective, let me move it so you don't see my graphic over. This is what's outlined here in white is what Magnolia Estates is, and you know, in perspective, let me see if I can do it. This is the school right there on Boundary Street. Okay, that's a school there on Bound Street. Here's Fifth Avenue over here. I mean, this is a pretty big chunk of property, 69 acres. I mean, if you look at it relatively, I mean, from where this is, you can't even see Main Street on this picture. So that kind of gives you some perspective of how big that is.
Another perspective, the entire campus now occupies 99 acres. It doesn't take into consideration, of course, the stadium property, but the entire campus occupies 99 acres, and we're able to add to that with an excess of 69 acres.
Wow. So what are we looking at putting in there? I mean, it's student housing. Obviously, I don't think you have any of the drawings for what the buildings will look like at this point, but what's going to go into there? What, you said 320 units, but what is it going to shape up like in that acreage?
Our concept for student housing has been developed over a couple of years with a lot of research, a lot of talking to other schools and see what they're going. Our concept is going to be apartment style. For example, you might have a 4-bedroom apartment with a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and a living room, dining room, kitchen type area. And they would be, in those cases, they would be individual bedrooms, single bedrooms. As you know, on campus, basically what we have is dormitory style bedrooms and living facilities. And in today's world, students are preferring and almost demanding upscale housing. And in order to do that, we had to find new facilities to do that. The conceptual design that was presented to the foundation board included 10 buildings with 16 beds per building, which would be 4-bedroom apartments. This is a concept. It's not the final version at this point, but it is a concept. And with the acquisition of this property, we can now get down to serious design. Obviously, design is contingent upon the property and the contour of the property you're putting on. But our concept, again, is to make it apartment-style living as opposed to dormitory-style living.
I was over at Magnolia Estates yesterday. There's 3 houses there, and I believe one of them is kind of the office for Magnolia Estates, if memory serves me. In buying this, you buy those houses out too?
We bought the entire Magnolia Estates, including the 3 developed parcels. There are also 7 parcels that had been sold to other private individuals. And the balance of those were still owned by the developer. And in addition to those parcels of land that have been set up for single-family housing, then there is the additional acreage, what we refer to as the raw acreage, which is where the student housing will go. And there are actually 3 phases of the project. The initial phase, which was the single-family dwelling, and then phase 2 and phase 3. And obviously the entire housing concept at this point is not going to take all 69 acres.
Right.
So simultaneously with developing the student housing and a portion of it, we're putting together a master plan for the balance of the properties and how we use them.
$2.1 million is what the foundation made. That was financed, correct?
$2.1 million. I have never seen a check that size before, but I got to tell you, I saw a check that size on Tuesday when we closed.
The question always with anything that is done through a state entity like Clarion University, even though this is done through the foundation, taxable. What's the deal with taxes for Clarion Township, for the county, on this area?
Good question. First, it's imperative we understand that it is the foundation which purchased this property. The foundation is a private, non-profit 501c3. We are incorporated for the purpose of assisting the university in any way we can, but we are governed by a different set of rules. As relative to the tax issue, at this point we have no plans to take any of the property off the tax rolls. In the future, as we develop new structures on there, we will probably apply for those to be tax exempt. This is not going to affect the tax revenues either for the township, the school district, or the county, because they already are receiving those taxes. The foundation does have a history, however, when we take property off of the tax rolls. We have a history of giving gift to the taxable entity in lieu of taxes. And while I cannot personally make that decision, that's been the history of our board, and I would expect that in the future, if we were to apply to remove things from the tax rolls, that we would then continue our role of gifting in lieu of taxes to the various taxable bodies.
Okay. This fits into this master plan that Clarion University has, obviously adding something like this. You know, it is 3/10 of a mile away from campus, and that does present somewhat of an issue in that it's not on a contiguous basis with the campus we have now. How is that going to work out for those people who are there who have cars maybe, or are they going to be asked to walk? Is there going to be some certain transportation, or has that not even been looked at yet?
Well, it's all certainly under consideration. We would expand the bus service to the Magnolia Estates. The housing that would be developed in there would be developed including adequate parking for all residents there. And in keeping with the university policy, since it's only 3/10 of a mile, anyone who's living there would not get a parking permit on campus. And this is not a change in policy, this is the existing policy, and I'm told that that would probably not change, but they would extend transportation services.
You know, one thing that I heard at the press conference yesterday was that you know, the university has all these dorm-style housing, and then there's all this off-campus housing. Is this in any way done to try to get some of that business back from off-campus housing?
No, that's an excellent question, and I think it's real important to understand we are not in any way going to be out there attempting to compete with the private sector. As a matter of fact, there will be, within the next several years, a number of beds will be eliminated on campus. Beck Hall is going to be converted to an office building. When that occurs, we'll be taking 200 beds offline. Then there's some 2 additional buildings where we're looking to convert some of that housing from 2-room occupancy to single private occupancy. And when that occurs, we could take as many as an additional 400 beds offline. So if you do the simple math, our first phase is 160, second phase 160, so we're 320 new beds with the potential of taking as many as 600 offline.
Wow.
So we're not, what we're attempting to do is respond to the students' desires for some upscale apartment-style housing.
Okay. Well, that is all the time we have for on this subject today, but thank you for joining us. Certainly something to look forward to here in Clarion.
It's been a pleasure, and I will tell you, we're really excited about the opportunity to help the university to expand.
Exactly. Charles Leach from the Clarion University Foundation, thank you for joining us. Stay with us. It's Valentine's Day. Were you rejected today? Well, perhaps you might have been with something called the Rejection line. We're talking about that coming up next on Feedback.
I'll take Simmons.
Yeah. Give me Jones.
Anderson.
Smith.
Lightfoot.
Bishop.
Hernandez.
Swifka.
Harris.
Lavender.
Peavy.
Yes.
In the game of life, you've got a much better chance at getting picked for a cool job with great pay if you take algebra, geometry, and calculus. You need to know how math can improve your future. Demand it. Call NACME. We'll tell you.
Wardrobe for some TV5 News staff provided by Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. Fashion Bug also offers a wide selection of accessories. Fashion Bug is located in the Clarion Mall, just off of exit 62 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Sunday from noon till 5.
This portion of programming is sponsored by Reese Brothers, located in Drake Square Building in Oil City. Reese Brothers offers a competitive hourly wage, plus daily bonuses, flexible scheduling, company sponsored health benefits, and paid professional training. Call today at 1-800-365-3500, extension 684, or 677-9236 for your personal interview, or stop by and visit the Drake Square Building. Reese Brothers, where integrity and technology connect.
Hi everybody, I'm Brandy. How would you like to give hope to millions of the world's children? UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, is saving lives in over 140 countries by providing kids with medicine, clean water, nutrition, and education. With your help, UNICEF can make a huge difference in our world. For more information, call 1-800-FOR-KIDS. Thank you.
So it is Valentine's Day, as I was saying, and we're going to talk about the Rejection line here. And let me tell you a little story about the Rejection line. I first heard about it last week. We went and booked the interview. I did the interview with these people that you're going to hear in a little bit. I had that all done on Monday, and then today, CNN beats me to the punch twice. They had a story on it this morning, and then their afternoon talk show talked about it. So I was beaten to the punch twice, but that's all right. We're still going to do it. Let me tell you a little bit about this rejection line. It's a number that you give out if at the bar if there's someone that you really don't like, but they keep hitting on you, so just kind of maybe a way to shut them up. Jeannie Mose from CNN takes a look at what the rejection line really is.
Imagine you're out on the town. Some jerk keeps hitting on you, asking for your number. You finally give it to him. He calls.
Unfortunately, the person who gave you this number does not want to talk to you or speak to you again.
Now there's a line to do your dirty work.
We would like to take this opportunity to officially reject you.
Meet the masterminds behind the rejection line.
We only told our friends about the line, and now we've had over 200,000 people call it. So I was really interested in that as an experiment in how word of mouth works.
Jonah Peretti is in media arts. His sister Chelsea is trying to break into comedy. Folks who've left messages on the rejection line sure seem amused.
Oh my God, that is awesome. You guys rock.
That's pure genius.
Chelsea herself to getting the number, a guy who was bothering her.
He was like, "You look like that Sex and the City girl," like just like all in my face as I was trying to walk down the street. So I was like, "You want my number?"
After calling the rejection line, he left an angry, expletive-laced message. Callers have several options.
If you want to cling to the unrealistic hope that a relationship is still possible, press 3.
Getting a girl's number was a central theme in the movie Swingers. The guys referred to phone numbers as digits.
All right, I want you to go over to that girl and I want you to get those digits.
The rejection line digits have their detractors.
Oh, that is ignorant. That's pretty harsh.
You guys are sick.
You can tell the folks who've just called out of curiosity from the ones who weren't expecting rejection.
You're very bad, naughty. You need a spanking.
You need a spanking?
Yeah, that's the kind of men who get the line. See,
there are some callers who seem forlorn.
I was just given this number, but I guess Howard doesn't want to call me back. Are you sure? He rejected me.
This is so wrong. I'm in Florida calling New York on a rejection line because I've been rejected.
The Perettis don't make money from the line, though as a joke, they do offer rejection merchandise. The operator they use as a mascot comes from a photograph they swiped.
Off a government website about menopause. And,
she's a menopause counselor, actually.
The rejection line could change your life, so don't leave home without it.
Unfortunately, the person who gave you this number does not want to talk to you or speak to you again.
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
So I did have the chance to speak with Chelsea Peretti from the rejection line earlier in the week. Here's my interview with her. Explain rejection line to us. What is it?
Okay, rejection line is a local phone number in Manhattan that me and my brother Jonas started. And it's a number that, anyone can give out to someone who's in their face. Maybe we're imagining at a club or bar. Or a social situation, and they can call the number, and it officially rejects them. It's almost like a movie phone type voice rejecting them. And then it has a phone tree of different rejection specialists.
So why did you start this? Where did this come from?
I don't know. We've always been we always have really weird ideas, and this was just one that we thought, wow, we actually could just do this. It would be really easy to do. And, I'm a stand-up comic, so we knew that we would have funny people who could make the messages, and we knew that it wouldn't cost that much to actually create the phone line. So we just said, let's try it, and see how far it can go.
Is this out of any personal experience that either of you had at clubs or bars?
I mean, definitely, I do some nightlife writing, and I definitely go out a lot. And I tend to have, 12-year-old boys in my face who are like, oh, you're a good dancer, where are you from? And it is, tedious after a while, especially when there really isn't a burning chance in hell. So it's kind of it is most people I'm generally pretty nice to, but some people are very aggressive and maybe drunk or on drugs and are very, persistent. So I guess this is kind of like a get-out-of-jail-free pass or something for the modern woman.
So explain how this. I mean, explain to me how it works. I mean, people aren't paying to use this phone number, and I mean, how are you making? Are you making money on this? How is the whole phone system set up?
This is the $1 million question, no pun intended. I mean, no, we're not making money off it. We basically, I mean, my brother is into it from a more techie side, but I'm into it sort of more on a social phenomenon side. But we just wanted to see what would happen if we put this service out there and what people would do with it. And we decided just sort of to invest in it as a sort of weird personal experiment. And as of now, we're really not making money off it. But I guess we are constantly trying to think of ways to do that, but they tend to involve making it suck. So.
Well, why is that? I mean, explain that.
Well, if you make it more advertising-oriented, for example, the website could be more advertising-oriented, and it would just look different. Right now it has a very, like, homegrown, kind of simple business look to it, and it would change that and the tone of it. And also we were thinking, you know, the messages themselves could have, you know, the comfort specialist says there's always alcohol.
Is this going to go farther than Manhattan?
Well, we weren't originally going to do that because it's just, I mean, as a financial thing, we just take the loss. So we had, you know, a kind of tongue-in-cheek thing about how we refused to serve any other city and blah, blah, blah. But I actually just started a Los Angeles area line. And that one's actually industry-related, so it's for, you know, a screenwriter, actor, or personal assistant. Those are the three choices. And, it's, you know, it's the person who gave you this number does not want to work with you on current or future projects. So it's more so for, like, the scheming industry people in Los Angeles. And we have no idea, you know, how that one is going to be received, but they're pretty funny messages, actually.
So give us an example. If someone calls, you know, they think they're calling someone they picked up at the bar, but indeed, what might they hear when they call?
Well, all the MP3s of the messages are available on our website, so you can hear the exact message. But basically, they'll hear just the greeting, which is my brother's voice, actually, on the New York line. And that greeting is just, you know, like, you know, welcome to the New York City Rejection line. The person who gave you this number does not want to speak with you, you know. And then it's sort of like an official rejection. And then the person who calls has an option of choosing a rejection specialist. And the choices are comfort. Well, it's actually three different choices. A comfort specialist, press 1. For a sad poem by a kindred spirit, press 2. And to cling to the delusional hope that a relationship is still possible, press 3. and that one I recorded. And so basically then they get to actually hand-pick their own form of rejection, which, I mean, they do, because we get messages, voicemail in each different box. So each message is unique and was written by the comic who did it. So. Has it been well received? I mean, obviously, the publicity's out there with the website, and people came to me saying they saw it, I forget what the television show was. What's reception like to this? Well, reception's been, you know, I mean, people generally, I think, are pretty excited by it just because we're taking what's a relatively old technology and we're using it in a new way. So I think that, like, we've made the telephone, I mean, it's almost like email in the sense that you're just giving someone a message without having to face them. So I think we're using an old technology like a new technology, and I think people are excited by that because it's the kind of thing where people are like, oh, that's so simple, I should have thought of that, but no one actually has done it before. So, I mean, I know there's been radio stations kind of ripping our idea off, and there's definitely a lot of people who are actually practically putting it to use because we get, you know, a lot of angry men leaving explicit misogynist messages. And, you know, and then there's also just a lot of people who are just laughing, like cracking up and talking to their friends on three-way.
So there you go. That's my good deed of Valentine's good cheer for you this year. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back to say goodbye. Stay with us.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
Do you want complete coverage of local, state, national, and international news as it happens?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to TV5 News Live.
Then tune in to Clarion's very own TV5 News Live for complete coverage of the Clarion area and our world. TV5 News crews join with crews from the world's news leader, CNN, to provide complete coverage of the day's events. With advanced satellite capabilities, TV5 News can bring you the latest news as it happens. So tune in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings for Clarion's very own TV5 News Live.
On September 11th, America faced terrorist attacks of the worst kind. Innocent lives were lost, and a sad cloud was cast over this great nation. These acts were intended to cause fear among all Americans, including our children. But we cannot let that happen. There are things we can do to help our kids. Talk with them. Listen to them. Tell them they're safe and that they're loved. God bless you, and God bless America.
This portion of the program was made possible through a grant from Clarion Hospital. Clarion Hospital is located off of Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Clarion Hospital offers outpatient services, transitional care, as well as an emergency room open around the clock every day of the year. More than 400 employees and 80 physicians work to serve the community. Call the Clarion Hospital at 226-9500. Clarion Hospital, providing health care to Clarion County and surrounding communities since 1954. All right, one last note of Valentine good cheer for you here tonight. Actually, not really. Take a look at this. This is in New Delhi, India. Some folks in India are feeling less than romantic about Valentine's Day. Protesters say the holiday is an attack on Indian culture. They point to products and advertisements that they say are full of obscenity and nudity. Demonstrators burnt Valentine cards, there you see that happening, and blocked traffic in New Delhi. The spokesman for the protesters says the holiday represents Western culture and Indians should not celebrate. It certainly does celebrate Western culture, and I call it the greeting card holiday. If you saw me today, you saw that I was not in the greatest moods because I think Valentine's Day is dumb because I don't have a problem with the whole idea of being romantic. I don't know what that was exactly. I don't have a problem with the holiday being romantic, but telling me when to or telling people when to, I think, is a pretty silly idea. All right, that's all for tonight's show. Next week on the program, it's Tuesday night, I believe, return guest Tim Picciarelli. You may remember him, magician and comedian. He was on here, I think in last October maybe. He's a lot of fun, so he'll be joining us Tuesday night at 7:30 here on Feedback. Have a good weekend, everyone.